Hi, I'm Dr. Ebony Stone, and this is the Black Woman in the Corner Office. Hello, and welcome to the Black Woman in the Corner Office podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Ebony Stone, and as always, I am super excited for you to meet today's guest. Today's guest has a very special place in my heart, and I can't wait for you to meet her. I'm just going to tell you right now, you might get a little peek into the conversations we have all the time because I consider her a personal friend. But before we introduce her, you know what to do. If you like this podcast, you like this episode, make sure you go down below, click like, and subscribe. And if you know someone who can benefit from this podcast, make sure you share it with them. Okay? All right. So I am going to read a bio. And I'm going to tell you, it's an impressive bio. I'm going to read it to you, and then I'm going to introduce her in my own way. Okay. So today's guest is Dr. Nutrena Tate, PhD, MBA, RN, CPNP, PC. We're going to get into all of those letters in just a minute. She is a nurse, leader, educator, and primary care pediatric nurse practitioner with nearly 30 years of experience. She holds degrees from the University of Michigan, Wayne State University, and Michigan State University. Dr. Tate serves as Director of Nursing Research at a large health system, a tenured professor, and founding CEO of Brand New Enterprises. She has advanced nursing research, equity, and leadership development across disciplines. A national speaker and published researcher, Dr. Tate champions mentorship and professional growth and currently serves as President-elect of the National Association of Pediatric Nurse Practitioners. That's a whole mouthful. So let me tell you, that's the official bio. To me, I call her friend, I call her mentor, and probably one of my laughing buddies. We spend a lot of time laughing. So welcome, Dr. Tate. How are you today?
I am so well. And let me just say, although you've read my bio and just talking about, our personal things that we have between us, I am just so proud of you. Just to be here in this arena with you, just to be here on your podcast series, it just makes me just ebullient, as my father used to say, with joy and honored to be here today. So I'm doing well.
Good. Thank you. So I have to remember that we're on a podcast and that because I'm used to our conversations, right? But I want to stay focused because I know I can go down a rabbit hole, and I appreciate it when you let me do that. So today we're going to focus on you, though, right? And so I want to start by just kind of telling our listeners and viewers a little bit about your journey. I read that you have a PhD, you have an MBA, you have an RN, and then the last one you just told me. Tell me again what the last set of letters stands for.
Sure. So CPNPPC is Certified Pediatric Nurse Practitioner, Primary Care.
Okay, so you got a lot of education. But I wanted to go back, as far back as you want to go. I don't know if you want to go to U of M, maybe, I don't know, maybe you start at Michigan State, or maybe you start after you finish your education. I don't know, you decide what the start is, but tell us where your career started and kind of what that journey looked like.
Sure. So what?
Before you do that,
yes,
I'm sorry. I should probably tell everyone because probably just a few weeks ago we had another one on. Dr. Tate is a phoenix. And for those technicians that are watching, I do love her, even though she is a phoenix. That part I will forgive her for. I just wanted to throw that out there.
I love it. And you know what? You must have felt a vibe because I was going to start way back because I'm just a little girl from Brightmoor at the end of the day, the proud daughter of a retired nurse and also a military sergeant and correctional officer. And I always have to start with that foundation because I know the nursing and spiritual aspect of my mother provided that part of my foundation. And the leader kind of people person is the part that, for my father, that started
Okay.
that foundation, I feel, of my career. And what I have seen kind of manifest throughout this journey is a mixture of both of them with God and spirituality all up in it. Because I know that with me always leaning, not on my own understanding, it has taken me to places and spaces further than what I would have ever thought. And so,
Mm.
with that being said, I have to start with that foundation, especially, growing up in Brightmoor, that I didn't know, it was Brightmoor until, I'm getting to be this age, going through parochial schools. I love that I went to Catholic schools throughout my life. And then, as you stated, a proud Phoenix, proud product of Detroit public schools that then helped me in really thinking about going to University of Michigan. But it was funny when I think about this journey. I grew up in Detroit where I was the majority.
Yeah.
It was very rare that I saw someone who didn't look like me. My neighbors growing up were, white, but for the most part, I was always in the majorities. But it took until me to go to University of Michigan and experience racism for the first time, to
Mm.
experience, sexism for the first time. And that kind of fueled my passion of DEI, fueled my passion of disparities, fueled my passion, I would even say, of being a Black woman and
Yeah,
really understanding what it means to be a Black woman. And so,
absolutely.
you
I
know,
think about
mhm,
the students right now that
yeah,
are graduating and we're excited and we're sending them off. I think one of the things that we have to consider is our own experiences because, very much like you, I was always the majority. And then I went to college and I was like, oh, life doesn't work that way.
absolutely not. To hear, oh, you talk so articulate. Well, what did you think I was going to sound like? What
Yeah.
did you think I was going to sound like? Or even I think about my very first time going into my a patient's room. I had on a
Mm.
white lab coat, nursing patch. I go in there and she instantly gave me a dietary menu because she assumed that this younger Black girl coming in there was definitely not her nurse who was going to take care of her that day, but was dietary, which many people stereotypically feel that Black people, especially at that time, in Ann Arbor, that's what they, spent. That's what they had. And so that really formulated a lot of, I think, my career trajectory. And with that, I love learning. And so I'm already still thinking now, like, what other certifications am I going to get? You talk about the alphabet soup I got behind my name now. And it's not for that. It's for one of those things of what I'll never forget, one of my mentors telling me, don't you ever let no one tell you no. If it's
Yeah.
something that you want, you go after it. And we know that many times we have the education, we can have the credentials. People still may tell you no, but what I will know for sure, as Oprah always says, what I will know for sure is that it's not because of my education and my certifications. It will not
Right.
be because of that. So,
Right.
yeah.
I think you might be the only person I know that loves education more than me. Like,
I don't know. I think,
literally.
we may be like the Gemini, maybe, kind of like this, the roller coaster. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it because it's
My husband's like, don't you go get another degree? And I'm like, well, that might happen.
I know. I know. Mine is the same way. And it's like, it's one more degree that I'm like considering, and only because I could probably do it for free. But if I do it, I better do it soon because the MBA was my last degree. It about killed me. And I did say it just like that. It about killed me being in my 40s going after it versus, being in my 20s, and
Yeah.
I just, so if I'll do it, I better do it. But we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens, where God
I'm
takes me.
dipping my toe back in this month, not with anything I've ever done before. I'm going to take a master gardener certification just to
That's
dip my toe back in it and kind of get him used to me being back in school
I
and
love
doing
that.
something I love.
But you're bringing together learning plus your joy of gardening,
Yes.
which is going to make it fun. It's not going to feel like school, really. So
Yes.
that's so cool. So
Yes.
cool. I love it.
So you were telling us the first time you walked into a patient's room,
Hmm.
um, they handed you a dietary menu. What went through your mind?
I couldn't believe it, you know, and I had to react. And I told her, thank you. You know, I can still see her face to this day. I told
Mm,
her thank you and actually introduced myself to her and told her I'd be taking care of her. And the expression on her face was priceless.
I
That's what
bet.
I knew, that was probably one of the first times maybe that I was entering into a room defying a stereotype. And that's kind of what I feel a lot through my career, is that tax that they say that we as Black women have, is that we always feel, well, I know I do, that I have to defy a stereotype or a preconceived notion that someone may have of me because I'm Black and because I'm a woman. And I really do think that even more now, I would say, considering the environment that we are in, we as Black women, honestly, I feel are under attack,
Yes,
especially in the workplace,
absolutely.
especially there. And so I just think about my own journey and my own travels in order to hopefully help others and
Yes.
pave the way for them, and to just endure the stress and the strain and the dot that you want to call it, in order to make it better for them, to have, let them have a voice, and for me to figure out what else there is for me to do in this life.
So what sent you into the field of nursing to begin with? Did you always
Mm-mm.
think that you would be a nurse?
I did not. I actually remember telling my mother when I was a teenager, I don't see how she's a nurse. I had to take care of her over a summer. She was hit by a car as a
Oh
pedestrian
goodness.
and had to learn how to walk all over again. And I remember us having a hospital bed in our den, while she recovered and learned how to walk. And it was my job to be her nurse, to take care of her, to empty her bedpans, to do all of that. And me being the 13, 14, 15-year old, teenager, became very resentful and told her,
Mm,
as such. And I mean, I look back on that now and she has the biggest laugh, considering that I'm a nurse, and considering that she said, once I'm done and retired, you're going to take my spot in this workforce. But when I went to Michigan, I went as a general literature, science, and arts student. And
okay.
they have a festival every year where all the departments and degrees and schools and colleges are out there. And I was led, I am not kidding you, there were all these different schools across what we call the diag. I
Okay.
literally still to this day remember 30 years, 30 plus years ago, being led to walk over to nursing.
Hmm.
And from that point, as they say, like I said, 35, 34, how old am I? 34, 33 years later, here
Yes.
I am as a nurse, and have continued to grow within the field. And to look at it not just as a nurse, the stereotypical nurse at the bedside, doing blood pressures, doing temperatures. I was only at the bedside for my 30-year career 1 year.
Oh
But
wow. Okay.
then but then moved to ICU, then moved to advanced practice nurse and taking care and how can I describe it? Diagnosing and managing, kiddos and their illnesses in that way for now 20, 25 years, I should say. And so with that, I've just continued to go to school, evolve, grow my network, because as people always say, it's not what you know, it is who you know. And I'm a firm believer in that, with those connections, and
Yes.
just continue to move forward within the discipline of nursing across education, administration, practice, and research across my 30-year career, and have loved every single bit of it.
Yes, and I love that you are a professor and that you are ushering in the next generation to follow in your shoes. Let me ask you this: as you think about it, so we heard about the first instance at a bedside when someone handed you the dietary menu. When you think about your career and now being and correct me if I'm wrong, the president elect of the
Mm-hmm.
National Pediatric Nurse Practitioners
Yes,
Association,
yes,
right?
yes.
When you think about that career, going from the beginning to where you are now as president-elect, what do you think was the largest obstacle that
Mm.
you faced? And do you think Black female nurses coming behind you face the same obstacle, or would it be different in today's world? What do you think?
I do. I think we do face the same obstacle. And I think it is not asking for help when we need it,
Mm,
being confident to a fault, I feel was an obstacle. So in that way, it was me, myself, I feel was my biggest obstacle in that way. But I think I had a way of still pushing past and pushing forward and even failing or falling forward, as they always say, and using those instances as opportunities for others to learn, as a testimony to fortify me, as well as I would say an avenue for mentorship and legacy building as well. So overall, I think my biggest obstacle was was me at
okay.
the end of the day. Mhm.
It ain't nothing wrong with a little confidence, right? But to your point, you don't want to get it wanted to get in your way of asking for help. So what advice would you have for the nursing student at U of M right now about to come into the world who is extremely confident and already knows that she struggles with asking for help, because that is not uncommon, especially among Black women? What advice do you have for her?
Yeah, I would tell her to start developing, even right now, her own personal board of directors that is going to evolve as she evolves. Get her support network of people who she trusts and who she wants to be like when she grows up. Start reaching out to them right now, and reaching out to them in a way of, I need mentorship, i.e., I need help. I want to be like you when I grow up. And this, I want to be like you, doesn't always have to look like us. Because many
Right.
times what we have found, our allies, our sponsors, those different people, they're talking about us before we even enter the room. So if she can start, if she can come out of herself, whether it's she's shy, she's nervous, she whatever, to start meeting people, talking to people, saying to people, I want to be like you when I grow up. This is already the skills that I have. Not being cocky, not being arrogant, but being confident. Because what I feel about confidence is that you have, yeah, a certain, air about yourself, but then that humble, that humility comes in there as well. So if you can mix all that together to get that personal board of directors together and start growing them, it may, and it's going to evolve. You're going to have some people who you're going to have to sit up there and disempower and, disengage, and then you're going to bring new ones. Start having that mentality right now, and it will take you far.
Yes, I love that you call it a board of directors.
Mhm.
I've heard that in the past, and it is literally a board of directors, because one person can't do it all. You can have you can't say I have a mentor, check, and be done with it, right? You need people to help you in different avenues of your life. Like right now, I know I'm telling my kids, like, make sure if you're not talking to me, that you are talking to someone that we trust, that is extremely knowledgeable about building your financial future. That person might be a little different than the person that you're going to say, help me, Dr. Tate, be a nurse. What's the
Absolutely.
best thing I can do? You need a full board of directors to help you. I'm a big believer in community, and you have to create your own. You,
Absolutely.
you
Absolutely. And one of the big things now, as I'm thinking about it, that I'm trying to learn how to do, I guess, with my board of directors and even within my career and all the things that I do, is not so much learning how to say no, because I am very conflicted with that. And me, you know that as someone who we personally have talked about things. I am a big fan of your book. I still remember, and I have not read a book since then. I remember reading that book in like a couple of days and not being able to put it down. But with
thank
that
you.
being said, it was a huge game changer for me But with that being said, I don't like to say no because I am, and many times I love opportunities. I love to grow through opportunities. But now instead of learning how to say no, I'm learning how to say how.
How
So
to
that
say
learning how
yes,
to say how. How
yes,
can I do all of this
yes,
or and figure it out in whatever way that is, while also knowing and understanding that it is not a such thing as work-life balance. It's all work-life integration. And
yes,
I am just a firm believer in both of those mantras and trying to figure out how to bring them all together to continue to do what I do and to continue to be accountable and to be on top of my stuff per my reputation. That's the area of opportunity, I guess I would say, that I'm having right now, and having and working with and blessed to work with executive coaches and therapists as well.
yes,
That's another lesson, I guess I would say, is it is okay to go to therapy. It is
yes,
okay
ma'am.
if you can afford it to have an executive coach as well. It is
Yes,
okay, and you should always reflect on how if you come into a situation or conflict, what did I do to contribute to this situation?
yes,
So, before you go to easily, as we're human, saying what this person did or what they didn't do. So,
yes,
again, just a little, I guess, snapshot into my head of the things of being a Black woman and being, I feel, on the third leg, I would say, of my career. And I don't know how many legs I have, but all of that to say, on the third leg of my career, those are some of the things that I am working through and hopefully able to help others work through once I get through it myself.
absolutely. And I can tell you guys, listen, I can tell you that Nutrina does look at herself and say, what part did I have? That was one of the reasons that I was drawn to you. I remember us having a conversation and you saying, I'm just trying to figure out what I did in the situation. Like what can I do different? And I'm like, hey, she she's not like I'm all, perfect. She's
Right.
recognizing like I can learn and grow too. And I so that's one of the things that drew me to you in the very beginning.
Mm.
Um, you talked about therapy, so I really quickly want to talk about therapy. It is it's like you said, it's okay. I think it's necessary, quite frankly.
Girl,
It
that
just
part.
that part.
That
Like
part.
I even and sometimes it's necessary in different amounts.
Yes.
There have been times in my life where I needed to be in therapy weekly. There have been times that I go, maybe quarterly, and there have been, I fall off, and then you have to go back. In the last couple of years, those therapy sessions have been really close, and then they get far, and then they're really close again. It's okay. Just make sure you're caring for self. So I know, like you said, what you guys don't know is I read you all of the degrees, all of the certifications, all of the professional things that Dr. Tate is doing, but she is extremely active in the community. And that's a whole nother list of things that she is doing that we haven't even gotten into.
Mm.
But you talk about, you don't want to say no. And I think your life or yeah, you don't want to learn to say no. And I think you want to learn to say how. And I think your life shows that. How do you
Yes.
say, figure out how to say how, but still have soul care? Because you got to care for you.
Yes, that is so, so true. And I'm working through that.
Yeah.
Like, even right now, I really try on the weekends to, yeah, I do some work, and yes, I do some things in the community, but to have some time one of these evenings, whether it's a Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, just to be me, just to do me, just to, as they say, and I'm just gonna say it because I love it, just to be able to have that feeling of taking my bra off. Okay, I'm just
Yeah.
gonna
Yes.
just and look, and
Yes.
every woman knows that feeling of
It's the
just
best feeling in the world.
to just
It
be
is the
able
best feeling in the world.
to just
Yes.
unbutton and just to be
Mhm.
me. I have to do that at
Yes.
least every weekend to
Yes.
just unwind,
Yes.
because I am. And I know I am. I could be very tightly wound up. very, very tightly. And it takes people to really know me to know that I do have that other side. And sometimes it takes a little bit of time for people to get to know that side, because I have to develop, and I'm just being honest, a sense of trust
Yeah.
with them knowing that side of me. Because one of the things that somebody taught me as well, who's on my board of directors, I would say, is everybody doesn't deserve to see that. Everybody
No.
doesn't deserve that. So,
Yeah.
with that being said, I really try to be intentional with soul care while doing everything for everybody else daily, if not daily, definitely concentratedly, over the weekend. And daily is meditation. I'm telling you, I meditate and pray every single day. Every
Yes. I know you do.
I have to, and I know, and I've become self-aware enough to know when I need to calm down and
Yeah.
when I need to take a couple of deep breaths. And it's funny, I so many times when we talk about soul care, feel like a duck. And I say, and I use that analogy all the time. When you see
Oh, just
ducks gliding across, I mean, they looking smooth as butter. And everybody is saying, they'll say that about me. Oh, I just love your calm demeanor. Girl, I'm up underneath that water. I'm just a
keep
paddle.
going.
I'm just a paddle. 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 But
I
I
love
guess
it.
I've developed some mechanism, unless you really, really know me, like my
Yes.
husband. And I have another friend of mine who actually the other day, she was like, now I want you to go ahead and I want you to meditate. Because, like, oh Lord, if she is telling me that, I know I'm tripping right now. And so,
Yep.
and she on my board of directors. She
Yes.
is a member of the board of directors. So yeah, it's so important. Whatever it is, just whatever you find joy in, just keep doing that in the midst of all the things that you do for people would be, I guess, a piece of advice.
Yes. And you can find little things and little moments. I remember Nutrena also introduced me to shower steamers. Do you remember that?
Yes,
She
yes.
said, "Girl, you don't have no shower steamers. You're gonna have to get you." So I went. I ordered some shower steamers off of Amazon. Changed my life because in the morning it takes me to a place where I can get in the right headspace. It's just me. I don't use them all the time, but sometimes I do. And every once in a while, when I use them, my husband will go, "You got them steamers in there again, don't you?" Because the whole bedroom just feels right. But it
Oh,
takes me to a calming place. So sometimes you don't need something grand, right? Just a couple dollar shower steamer that
absolutely.
smells like citrus that wakes me up in the morning, or one that's lavender and puts me to bed, right?
Yes.
Those small things are so important, or things that make you happy. Yesterday I went out in my garden and I gathered some things to give to a mutual friend of ours, and it just made me feel good, right
Yeah.
there. Those are small things like that you can do to just care for you, so that you can slow down that paddling underneath, right,
Girl,
for just a little while.
absolutely. Absolutely. And you just made me think that is a huge part of self-care that I do that I take for granted is aromatherapy. I'm
Mm,
telling you, between those shower steamers, I got a whole like little area, in my bathroom with those different shower steamers. But I love, and I don't know, but I just love aromas, period. To just, like
yes.
you said, uplift, or, just mood changers in so many
Yes.
different ways. So I
Yes.
love that as a part of the soul care, as you mentioned, for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So you've gone through the career. There have been ups and downs. You're on what you call the third leg. I call it my legacy leg of
Yeah.
career,
Mm.
right?
Hmm.
So when you think about that
Yeah.
and all that you have going on, I'm sure our listeners and viewers want to know two things. What's next for Dr. Tate?
Mm.
And how do they find you if they want to connect with
Yeah, and both are connected, which is such a great thing. What's next? I really want to grow my business.
you? Yes.
And most entrepreneurs that I talk to are saying, if you're going to grow your business, some of this stuff that you learn how to say, how about, it's going to have to the window, or it's going to have to maybe go to the side for a minute. So I'm working through that.
Okay.
With that being said, I really want to grow my business. I really want to do more outreach and public speaking to pediatric nurse practitioner students and other pediatric nurse practitioners, other women who are aspiring to be more than what they are right now, other people who are trying to make a difference and an impact in organizations overall, and those who are also trying to find their space and place within what we many of us still would like to call DEI, but many of us are calling it something different, such as inclusive excellence or accessibility and access or equity. Like really determining what does that look like currently and beyond, and helping people and organizations move forward in that way. And so I really, and even more than that, people really being able to tap into their leadership abilities and skills and styles to be able to influence other people, other organizations, other groups, communities, and larger or larger entities. I want to be a part of that, and working through brand new consulting, also known what you've inspired me to do, and to think about brand new enterprises, but to move forward in that capacity. And how can someone find me? They can go to www.brandnew, and that's just spelled like it is here, BRANDNU, which was my father's nickname for me. He inspired
Oh,
me
I
in
love
different ways.
that.
And so I play off of the new as it relates to my first name, but brandnew.org. So www.brandnew.org. Go to the contact us aspect of it. And I would love to help you feel brand new, be brand new in whatever space and place that is for you right now.
Yes, yes. I love that. I love that. And listen, you know that I'm here. I can't wait. I am looking forward to collaborating with Brand New in some way. 'Cause I'm gonna stay whether you want me or not, Nutrena. I'm staying tied to Nutrena. You don't get rid.
I'm
You don't
staying
get rid.
tied to E-Dub, as I call her. Okay, that's all I have to say.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So listen, before we get out of here, I have absolutely enjoyed our conversation, but I want to ask one more question. I
Mhm.
ask all my guests, so I'm sure you know what it is.
Yes.
But if we made a movie of your life,
Mm.
what would it be called? And do you know who would play you?
Ooh, you know, for some reason, and it's a part of my new logo for my company. I love mountains, and when I think about a mountain, I think about one of my favorite scriptures, Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And when we think about the beauty of a mountain, I would call that movie the valleys, the peaks, the plateaus of the
Mm,
evolution of a Black woman.
the
Who would
valley,
play
the
me? The valley, the peaks, the
oh,
plateaus, and the evolution of a Black woman. I don't know.
yes.
But who would play me?
It
Who
gotta be
would,
spicy to,
I
to
know,
be
right?
Dr.
I'm
Nutrena.
over here thinking, who would play me? You know who I no, because she played everybody. And see, I need to probably like look and see a little bit more. I gotta
Okay.
well, you know who it probably would no, because she not look, I really gotta think about who would play me. You know who I think would play me, and it's funny because I said this before, and somebody, God forbid, you know what? I'm gonna say Oprah, but they have to.
Oprah.
I would
Okay.
say Oprah in the
I
way,
wasn't expecting that.
and this person, when I had this question before, and I said they wasn't expecting that either. But Oprah, I would say her because she is so dynamic.
She
She
is.
is so skilled. She is an entity. Whenever she's not Oprah Winfrey, she Oprah, and has
Right.
a long time. So just because of what she stands for and just being such an excellent actress, no matter
Yes.
what she does,
Yes.
because you can always do somebody's hair, do somebody's makeup, do somebody's whatever. It would be Oprah.
I love it. The valleys, the peaks, and the plateaus, the evolution of a Black woman. So, Miss Oprah, if you hear us, we got a job for you when you're ready.
Girl, out of all the things, you know, that she got, that she up to, for real, you know?
Yes, yes. So, listen, it's been an absolute pleasure having you. You guys out there watching and listening, whatever you do, remember you can always ask for help. Yes, you are that girl, but you can also ask for help because together in community, there is nothing that we can accomplish.
Amen.
So we're going to get out of here today. And until next time, you guys know what to do. Keep spreading that Black girl magic on everything you do. We'll see you in a couple weeks. Bye.
Okay.